Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Blackwing deck profile. So you guys know that this is the deck that I'm super famous for on YouTube, and it is probably my favorite deck of all time to play around with. I carry this deck wherever I go, and I'm super excited for doing the update for you guys, because we have a lot of new cool cards to be playing in the extra deck and the main deck with some of the stuff that came out of Duel Overload. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad. Definitely check out the Patreon and the Ko-Fi down in the description below, and let's get straight on into this, guys. So, first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Simone the Poison Wind. So, Simone the Poison Wind is a really good card that basically his effect is that if you control no monsters, you can banish a Blackwing monster from your hand, and then if you do, search your deck for a Black Whirlwind. You put the Black Whirlwind on your side of the field, and then proceed to normal summon the Simo, which essentially gets you a search directly out of your deck, which is pretty cool. The only downside of this card is that during your end phase, you do have to banish, or you do have to send the Black Whirlwind that you put on the field with this card to the graveyard, and you take 1,000 points of damage. But that is very, very unconsequential for what you actually get out of this card. Then we play 3 copies of Chris the Crack of Dawn. So some people actually play this card at 2. I still like it at 3. It's a good normal summon, and it's a good special summon, and it just cannot be destroyed by spells or traps once per turn. The only downside of this card is that it can't special summon itself but once per turn, which is a little bit of a downside, but still being a 1900 beat stick, it's a really good card to play at 3. Then we play 3 copies of Blackwing Boar the Spear. Boar the Spear can special summon itself as many times as it wants per turn, and it inflicts piercing damage to if it attacks your opponent's monster. Now the cool thing about this card is the only thing that you have to require to special summon these 2 cards is to have a Blackwing on the field other than Chris the Crack of Dawn for Chris the Crack of Dawn, but it doesn't care if you have multiple Boars on the field. Then we play a single copy of Blackwing Zaphros the Elite. The effect of Blackwing Zaphros the Elite is if it's on the field, or if it's in your graveyard, you can bounce a card on your side of the field to your hand, take 400 points of damage, and then special summon this card from your graveyard, and you can only activate the effect of Zaphros the Elite once per duel. Then we play one of the cooler, really cool cards that I like in this deck, and that is 3 copies of Oster the South Wind. So this card is a really good card. Basically what this card does is, when it's normal summoned, it can be special summoned, but when it's normal summoned, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower Blackwing monsters and special summon it in defense position, and then you can banish from your graveyard to either place black feather counters on one Blackwing dragon equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, or place a 1 wedge counter on each face-up monster your opponent controls that does not already have one. Now the cool thing about this card is it combos really well with your Simo, because when you put your Black Whirlwind on your side of the field, what you're going to end up doing is always searching the Oster if you don't have it, because this counts as its own normal summon, so you basically get 2 normal summons in that turn, because it's normal summoning itself off of its own effect. So then you summon this, search the Oster, normal summon the Oster, special summon the Blackwing that you banished to summon your copy of Simone, and then you have 3 monsters on field, and that's not to include if you didn't have another monster in hand, because you're going to get to search off of your Oster as well, which is basically 4 monsters on the field at the same time. And then if you have a 4 on the field and a 6, and then a 4, and then you search a copy of Hamaten, you can make it a level 6 as well. So if you have a 4, a 6, or you have 2 4s and 2 6s, you can go double full armor master, which is really cool. Then we play 3 copies of Gale the Whirlwind. Gale the Whirlwind is a really, really good card in here, because basically it can special summon itself from your hand if you control a Blackwing monster, and then once per turn you can half the attack of an opponent's monster. Now it is per Gale, so I can half the attack of a monster for each Gale that I have, which is really cool. 1 copy of Gallus the Midnight Sun. Gallus the Midnight Sun is a really good Blackwing as well that special summon itself to your side of the field if you can only control 1 Blackwing. Now it is probably one of the weaker Blackwings, but I really like playing it because it combos really well with my level 3 tuners, because it's basically like free needle fiber, and it's also like you special summon it to your side of the field, and then you can synchro summon for a level 6 with a level 3, which was really nice. And then we play a single copy of Blizzard the Far North. Blizzard the Far North, when it's normal summon, you could special summon a level 4 lower Blackwing monster from your graveyard, which is pretty cool. And then when you do, you can synchro summon with this card to basically make a 6 or something like that, or you can link it away with the Blackwing monsters in your graveyard, but it's kind of like a 1-card normal summon for a Needle Fiber or a Wise Strix as well. Then we play 2 copies of Hamaten the Dust. I bumped Hamont in the Dust up to 2. I've been talking about it in previous profiles, but I actually did it in this one. Bumping Hamont up to 2 is something that I'm really glad I did. But basically what this card does is if you control another Blackwing other than itself, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. And then when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target a Blackwing monster you control and increase this card's level by that level. So that's what I was kind of saying with, is if you open up a Simone with a level 4, you basically have double Armor Master. I mean, and they don't negate it. You have double Armor Master because you're going to search the Haunton, you're going to search the Oster, and then you're going to special summon both of them and put 2 Armor Masters on the field. Then I play 2 copies of Orsha the Squall. Orsha the Squall is just my level 1 tuner. It helps me go from 6 to 7 and 7 to 8 and stuff like that. It's really, really helpful. And it can special summon itself to your side of the field if you control another Blackwing monster. And then when it uses Synchro Summon a monster, you can target a monster your opponent controls and change its battle position, which is pretty nice. The only thing that you can't change is link monsters because they can't go to defense position, but that's still pretty cool. Then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as well. The Ash Blossoms just kind of help out because you don't want to deal with your opponent's stuff, so you play 3 Ash Blossoms. You can play any hand trap you want in this position, but I like the 3 Ash Blossoms. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of a new tech card that I'm playing in here, and that is a single copy of, and you guys are going to laugh, Double or Nothing. Okay, so why am I playing Double or Nothing in this deck? Okay, so yes, Full Armor Master can't be destroyed by, or is unaffected by all other card effects, but they can beat over Full Armor Master. So basically what I do is I use this card as my latch just effort if they do push me to that limit to OTK them, because what I'll do is if or they give me a good opening, if you open up any of your level 4s, you just overlay 2 of them and then swing at your opponent. Like this deck, it's really easy to make Utopia double in Blackwings, and so I am. And it's just super easy. I think I counted and I had like 10 different monsters in the main deck that I can either, they were level 4 or I can make them level 4. Like Orsha, or not Orsha, but Hamotten. You can make Hamotten a level 4 if you target a level 2 on your side of the field and increase its level by 2, which is pretty cool. Then we play 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. The 3 Allure of Darknesses basically just are draw power because everything we play in the main deck except for Ash Blossom is dark. We play 3 copies of Call by the Grave because we just don't want to deal with our opponent's stuff. We don't want to deal with our opponent's hand traps at all because we're searching the deck like crazy. Then we play 3 copies of Black Whirlwind, which is the best spell in the entire deck, or best card in the entire deck besides our Simone. But when a Blackwing monster is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can immediately add a Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand with less attack than that monster, which is really, really, really cool to just be able to search any Blackwing, and it's not once per turn. It's just as many times as you can normal summon, you get to search. The only downside of this is it's not when you special summon. If it was when you special summon, it'd be more powerful than Gateway of the Six. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we are actually playing a couple of traps in the main deck. So we're going to be playing 2 copies of Blackbird Close, and we're going to be playing 3 copies of our Eradicator Epidemic Virus. So this card is still really, really good. You can shut down entire games with Eradicator Epidemic Virus because all you have to do is tribute a dark monster with 2,500 or more attack, and then call spells or traps, and then destroy all of them for the next 3 turns, which is crazy. Then you play 2 copies of Blackbird Close, which is like for me, it's like better Solemn Strike in this deck, because when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, you can send a Blackwing monster you control to the graveyard to negate the activation if you do destroy it. Then you can special summon a Blackwing Dragon monster from your extra deck, and if you control a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon, you can activate this card immediately from your hand. So as soon as you summon your Full Armor Master, you can just drop this on your side of the field. So this card's really, really good. I thought about even bumping it up to 3, but I see it when I need to, and I don't when I don't, to be honest, at 2. But I really like the 3 Eradicator Epidemic Virus because it just works in this deck, and it just stops so many other cards. So that's it for the traps, guys. I will mention to you guys, if you do want to play like Super Poly over the 3 Eradicator Epidemic Viruses, go right ahead. You can drop all 3 of these, side deck them. I would at least side deck the Eradicators because they are really, really, really good. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Full Armor Master because we can make them both in a single turn. Basically what this card does is it's unaffected by all other card effects, and then each time an opponent's monster activates its effect, you put a wedge counter on that opponent's monster. And then it also has the ability that once per turn you can target an opponent's monster that has a wedge counter and take control of it, and then during the end phase you can destroy all monsters on the field that have wedge counters on them. So it has 4 effects, and all 4 of them are extremely good. The only downside of this card is it only has 3,000 attack. That is literally the only downside to Blackwing Full Armor Master. Other than that, this card is one of the best unaffected by everything cards in the entire game. When they first released this card, I went ballistic. I thought this card was the best card that had ever been printed, and it is one of the best cards that's ever been printed. You put 2 of these on the field and your opponent is going to have a hard time to get past it. So then we play a single copy of Blackwinged Dragon. Blackwinged Dragon is just a summon off of our copy of the it's just to summon off the copy of our Blackbird Close. That's the only time you're ever going to summon it. And we do have, again, I mention it like every time because I'm just so proud I have one. But it's the first edition Ghost Rare. So definitely give us a like for that one, guys. It's a really cool card. And it's really amazing that we actually got a hold of one. Then we play a single copy of Blackwing Raikiri, the Rain Shower. Blackwing Raikiri, basically for every Blackwing you control, you can destroy a card on your opponent's side of the field, which is really, really, really cool. Besides, for every other Blackwing, so if you have like 2 other Blackwings on the field, you destroy 2 cards, which is really nice. We play a single copy of Chidori. Chidori gets really big in this deck because it gains 300 attack for every Blackwing that's in your graveyard, which is really cool. And then if it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target a Blackwing or a Wingbeast Synchro monster in your graveyard and accept another copy of itself and special summon it. 1 copy of Blackwing Obsidian or Blackwing Tamer Obsidian Hawkjoe. Hawkjoe basically special summons a Blackwing from our graveyard that's level 5 or higher. And if he's targeted for an attack or an effect of a card effect, you can target another Blackwing instead of him. We play a single copy of Blackwing Armor Master. Armor Master can't be destroyed by battle, and every time that it battles, you put a wedge counter on it, which is super cool to be able to put those wedge counters on your opponent's monsters, because you can pull the wedge counter out and reduce the monster's attack to 0. Or if you have Blackwing Full Armor Master and Armor Master on the field, you can stick the wedge counters in, and then during the end phase, destroy the opponent's monster. And you take no battle damage, or you take no damage from battles involving Full Armor Master, or regular Armor Master either, which is pretty cool. Just a single copy of Nuthung. Nuthung's effect is that you get an additional normal summon when he's on the field each turn, and then he also has the ability that when he is summoned, you get to target an opponent's monster and reduce its attack by 800, and then your opponent takes 800 points of life point, or 800 points of damage. A single copy of Beals can't be destroyed by battle, and every time you take damage, you just increase your life points by the amount, or you increase his attack points by the amount you lost. We play a single copy of Utopia Double because you can make Utopia Double really easily in this deck and then just swing at your opponent for 10,000 with the Utopia Double combo. Ice Beam Zerofine because it stops every effect on the board. It just cold waves the entire field. 1 copy of Boral Sword. Boral Sword just helps us OTK a little bit. This card's interchangeable. You can change it out for Boral Load if you feel like you need Boral Load, or Avermax. It depends on what you want to make and what you feel like you can make. 1 copy of the Crystron Link Monster. This card's really good in here, and it's super easy to make. I like it because it special summons a tuner from the deck, so it kind of gets me out the exact tuner level that I need. Either, like, I can special summon my Gales and my Orshas off of this, which is kind of nice. I don't summon it all that often in this deck, but it does come up. And then I play a single copy of Wise Strix, which I go into just about every single game, because usually I'll go for Wise Strix first, because Wise Strix can put me a level 4 Blackwing monster on the field, and then I can use it for whatever I want, which is really, really cool. But you can't use it as a link material, but you can use it as Synchro or XYZ material. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really fun deck. It's one of my favorite decks. Like, it is hands down my favorite deck of all time. I will probably always play Blackwings as long as this deck, you know, as long as Yu-Gi-Oh is around. Well, even after Yu-Gi-Oh is not around, I'll probably still play Blackwings. So, anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on there so you can come part of our notifications squad. Definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.